Let's get right to it. The multimeter in your bag is not a gadget. It's a piece of life-saving equipment. It is literally the only thing standing between you and a catastrophic amount of electricity. So forget about hobbyist toys. We're going to talk about the 5 meters that pros actually trust their lives with every single day.
So you might be wondering, what's the big deal? Well, picture this. You take a cheap $20 meter and you put it on a 480-volt panel. Its guts can't handle the energy, and bam! You are standing in the middle of an arc flash. That's a one-way trip to the burn unit, if you're lucky. See, choosing the right meter isn't about getting an accurate reading. It's about getting to go home in one piece.
All right, so when the stakes are that high, where do you even begin? Well, we're starting right at the top of the food chain. We're talking about the undisputed champions of the industrial world, the Fluke 87V and the Fluke 289. These things aren't just meters, they're the gold standard.
Over on the left, you've got the legend itself, the 87V. This is the absolute workhorse. It's tough, it's reliable, and you'll find one in pretty much every serious industrial tech's bag. Now on the right is the 289. It might look similar, but trust me, it's a completely different animal. This thing is a data logging monster built for hunting down the most complex problems you can imagine.
Okay, let's break down the specs, because this is where it gets interesting. Now, both have True RMS and the critical low-pass filter for VFDs. We'll get to that. But look at the display and logging. The 87V gives you a solid 6,000 count display. But the 289? It's got a massive 50,000 count dot matrix screen. That means way more resolution, way more precision. And here's the kicker. Only the 289 has trend capture. That is an absolute game changer for diagnostics.
Let's talk about a real-world headache, variable frequency drives. You know the drill. You put a regular meter on the output of a VFD, and the numbers just go crazy, jumping all over the screen. Your meter might be reading 30% higher than what the drive's controller says it's putting out. So what do? Is the drive shot? Is the motor failing? You're completely flying blind because you can't trust your tool.
And that is where this feature is pure magic. Both the 87V and the 289 have this low-pass filter built right in. It's the special little circuit that just erases all that high-frequency electrical noise coming off the VFD. And what do you get? A clean, stable, and, most importantly, accurate reading. The voltage on your meter finally matches the voltage on the drive. All the guesswork? Gone.
Okay, now for the 289 superpower. Think of it as a data detective. You've got a machine that keeps tripping, but only once or twice a day, right? You can't just stand there waiting for it to happen. So you hook up the 289, you set it to log, and you just walk away. It'll sit there and record up to 15,000 events. Later, you come back, and trend capture shows you a graph of exactly what happened. You can literally see the voltage sag or the current spike that was your ghost in the machine. Problem solved.
So let's leave the industrial plant for a minute and head over to a commercial job site. The dangers here are a little different, but they're just as real. We're talking about hunting down something called ghost voltage, and there's one tool that was born for this fight.
So what the heck is ghost voltage? Imagine you've got a dead wire running in a pipe right next to a live one. The energy field from that live wire actually induces a small phantom voltage onto the dead wire. A normal high-impedance meter will see that and show you, say, 80 volts. It tricks you. It makes a safe circuit look hot, and that is a recipe for disaster. The way you fight a ghost is with a feature called low Z, or low Z. It stands for low impedance. Here's how it works. When you flip the switch to low Z mode, the meter's internal impedance drops. It puts just a tiny little load on the circuit, and that's enough to make that phantom voltage just vanish. Your reading instantly drops to 0 volts, and now you know for sure that the line is dead.
And that's exactly why the Fluke 117 is the weapon of choice for commercial electricians. I mean, it's basically designed around that low Z function. Plus, it's got auto volt, so you don't have to guess between AC and DC, and it even has a non-contact voltage ticker built right in. It's the perfect trifecta for working safely and quickly in those crowded commercial panels.
Okay, let's be real for a second. Flukes are amazing, but that price tag can be pretty steep, and not every journeyman or apprentice has $400 or $500 to drop on a meter. But listen, that does not mean you have to skimp on safety. So let's look at a couple of options that give you pro-level safety without the premium price.
Check this out. First up, the Klein MM720. Just look at the features here. It has a Cat 4 600-volt safety rating. That's huge. It's got True RMS. It has the absolutely essential low Z mode for killing ghost voltage. And it even throws in temperature and microamps for the HVAC folks. For the price, the amount of professional-grade features packed into this thing is just incredible. And then you've got this guy,
The brawler. The Milwaukee 22-17-20 times meter. The specs are perfectly fine, but that's not its story. This meter is all about being tough as nails. You see all that rubber overmolding? That means you can toss it in your truck, you can drop it off a ladder, and it's just going to keep on working. For a lot of guys, that kind of job site durability is just as important as any feature on a spec sheet.
So we've seen some great meters, but now I need you to forget about the brands for a minute. Let's zoom out. Because no matter what you buy, there are some fundamental, non-negotiable rules you have to understand if you want to stay alive.
Rule number 1, and don't you ever forget it, is CAT ratings. This isn't about voltage, it's about energy. CAT 3 is for your regular branch circuits. CAT 4 is for the service entrance, where the utility power comes in. That's the highest energy environment. You bring a CAT 3 meter to a CAT 4 fight, and you are going to lose catastrophically. That Fluke 87V, it's rated to survive an 8,000-volt transient. That is what you are paying for, survival.
Next up, True RMS. This is not a nice-to-have feature anymore. It's mandatory. In today's world of VFDs and complex electronics, signals aren't clean sine waves. A cheap meter that doesn't have True RMS can be wrong by 20, even 30%. And at that point, it's not just an inaccurate reading, it's a flat-out lie. And that lie can get you hurt.
And all of this brings us back to the big question, right? The one everyone asks. Why are Flukes so expensive? Is that Fluke tax really actually worth it?
Well, here's the absolute truth, plain and simple. You're paying for two things. First, you're paying for the confidence that it's going to read correctly today, tomorrow, and 5 years from now. That's calibration stability. And second, you are paying for the over-engineering inside, the giant fuses, the blast shields, the input protection that is all designed with one single purpose, to make sure the meter blows up instead of you. It really is that simple.
So when you go to buy your next meter, here's your final checklist. 1. Match the CAT rating to your job. No excuses, no compromises. 2. It has to be True RMS, mandatory. 3. If you're doing commercial work, you need low Z. 4. Don't forget about durability. A dead meter is a useless meter. And 5. If you're the go-to troubleshooter, you're going to need data logging.
Look, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. That meter you grab from your tool bag every morning isn't just a tool, it's a partner. It's your first line of defense. So I want you to go look at the one you're using right now and ask yourself a serious question. Is this really the tool I want to bet my